We are here after week 1. Excited to be here with the crew. Anyways.
Why you whispering to the mic like that?
Because last time it was too loud. So
It was. But
ain't no last time.
He dramatic.
We are here.
I'm glad y'all picking up on what I'm picking up on.
It is Wednesday night. It is Wednesday night. You guys will see this on Thursday. We were not able to go on live Monday. Had some technical issues, so it's going to be a really jam-packed episode. But we're going to try and get a recap of Sunday, Thursday, and Monday night. Also giving you a preview of what we expect tonight or Thursday night, and go into Sunday and Monday, of course. So let's just hop right into it. But before we can't do this without giving our introductions. I'm Cordell Moody.
Marcus.
E-Rob, Ski.
E2, baby. Let's get it going.
All right.
Whispering to the mic, bro.
So
you getting a little too close to personal. This is all of our mics. All of us.
He right. Let's go.
That energy felt right. Go ahead, Cordell.
The energy's here tonight for sure.
If you've been under a rock or you don't know the news that I'm tired of talking about, the news that I'm
Something
sure
happened?
plenty of people. Yeah,
What happened?
this small timer quarterback, old dude, should be retired.
Oh man.
Name Rodgers, I believe, out for the season.
Oh, that dude.
Hey,
that
yeah.
guy.
Dude who went,
Y'all being real disrespectful. I need y'all to simmer down.
So
y'all simmer down.
out for the season, 4 plays, 3 hits, a sack, and that's his season.
Wow,
for him.
that's his stat line for you? That's so
that was
rude.
it. 4 plays, 3 hits, and a sack.
That is so
Did
rude.
he attempt to pass?
I
don't know.
Was the one that
Actually,
we called
I
a
believe-
pass?
Did he attempt to pass?
No, that was a handoff.
I honestly now, all joking aside, I don't even know.
I don't think he did.
I don't think
I,
he
don't,
did.
I think he tried.
I think he
Man,
did.
I-
No, he did.
He did.
When he
Because
escaped.
He got hit.
When he
yeah.
escaped, he escaped from Russo.
So
Yeah,
Rodgers'
threw it out of
stat
bounds.
line is
0 for 1?
0 for 1 or 0 for 2. He had no completions for the year.
Sheesh.
Put that in the highlight.
Ski.
So
All right, Bills fan. We don't get to
it
you.
happened. Hashtag not my problem. He's gone.
That's rude.
Sayonara.
Our condolences. We hope for a safe, healthy, full recovery for you, Aaron, so you can get back out there and show him what's what. Go ahead, Cordell. So rude. Get a man. Give him a hug. He need a hug right
You
now.
already taken it. Go ahead and keep going.
Oh, my bad.
With
Yin
your
yang.
Aaron Rodgers.
As a human, you know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to go through a situation like that where they tear their Achilles. You seen Candyman? The new one? Where he pulled, man, what? He by the Achilles?
Oh yeah, that was
Hell,
that was disturbing. That was disturbing.
there are things that get my goosebumps,
That was a little
all
disturbing.
over the
Yeah.
body, bro.
Yeah, that was
Every
nasty.
time. I'm tight
Good
right
movie,
now.
though.
You ain't seen it.
Very good movie.
Good
You don't
Very
know.
good.
That was great. I watched the joint 3 times.
So that's your take.
Dang, you
That's
watched
all
that
you had to
3
say about
times?
him.
Oh yeah, get better, Aaron. The brand around Zach
You're
Wilson
giving best wishes.
is
Really? Like, is Aaron going to see this?
I hope that Zach Wilson can fix his brand, but I don't think he's ready
Other
yet.
brand, Pat
It's
McAfee.
gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a similar situation last year. Your defense gonna have to get you some points, set up some easy, shorter yardage situations or shorter field situations, things of that nature. Rely on turnovers, play steady football, trust your running backs, and
Right.
feed Garrett the ball. Hopefully that's enough.
It is a little devastating, regardless of player, to have your season come to an end after just 4 plays on the field. I mean, so as Eric stated, best wishes to Aaron Rodgers for his recovery for sure. It's a devastating injury. You know, what it will do to the Jets going forward, that remains to be seen. They definitely have a real test on Sunday with Dallas, and that's going to prove a lot about Zach Wilson, about the team, about Robert Saleh going forward. So,
Where they need to go.
Right, where they need to go, exactly. So, like I said, it was a devastating injury to Aaron Rodgers, but much credit to the Jets for finding a way and digging deep and getting a win on Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, they had the Super Bowl bust aspirations for the team. And with Aaron Rodgers, now there's no Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of just like, I feel like the team morale is probably down for sure. You know, they got to go with Zach Wilson. Hey, hopes that Aaron Rodgers, we didn't see his last game. Hopefully we didn't. I know it's a possibility. You know, it's kind of, you know, Achilles injury is hard to come by.
It's up in the air.
Come from,
Come back
especially
from.
being 40 years old.
40, right.
Once you know, are able to play again.
Yep.
So hopefully we see him back, but you know, and we don't want to see this as the last thing we have in our memories about Aaron Rodgers the last time he took the field. So hopefully he's back.
Not my problem. You so rude, bro.
Look, hashtag
What's wrong with you?
I mean, it's not his problem.
And when I
He's not wrong. He rude. That's all.
He's not wrong. He's rude.
And when I say it, I obviously am not saying it as in I wish ill will or that he ain't gonna ever recover.
Sure.
It is as a Bills fan, the Jets. You lost your quarterback for the season. Hashtag not my problem.
I mean, they rivals, so
Exactly. That's the only energy.
I mean, hey, look,
I'm giving
we've been
Jets
saying
fans.
the same about the Saints.
My condolences.
Ain't no problem they injured.
Hashtag not my problem.
I guess you know.
You're not wrong. You know what is your damn problem? Josh Allen, bro. Well, you talk about that.
Beautiful
4
segue.
turnovers.
Beautiful segue.
That's crazy.
I want next.
I can do your job.
I want
what
next.
you talking about?
You want to go first? I want next. Oh, I can start.
Go ahead. Hey, it's your team.
I'm saying,
Talk
we'll be
about them. That is,
No.
the yin to your
You
yang.
guys can just go ahead.
Oh,
What you
No,
mean?
but it's your
Have that.
It's
Nah,
your
bro.
squad.
Well, you can give the
No,
proper
I don't want to
context.
steal people's thunder, so
I'll-
I will
I'll-
let you guys go.
I'll start.
I'll-
We're
stealing your thunder.
I will start
you're
this
not.
off.
You're
I will
not.
start this
You're
off.
not.
Okay.
Go for it. Have at
I
it.
know how you feel about your team, okay? And I know that there's a certain level of expectations when it comes to the Bills. But there was no excuse for them losing that game on Sunday night. You had Aaron Rodgers go down. You had morale, energy, whatever was sucked out of the building the moment he went down.
You had a healthy team.
Most teams take advantage of that. And the Bills could not. They got as the biggest lead that they got at one point was 13-3. They only had a 10-point lead throughout the night. I feel like a team that is Super Bowl ready would have buried the Jets. Let's be real. As good as the Jets are, a team that's on the cusp would have said, you know what, guys? Their mental is gone. Their quarterback is in the locker room with a torn Achilles. Let's put these guys away. And they didn't. They let these guys linger around. A lot of it, if not all of it, a lot of it falls on the shoulders of Josh Allen. As talented as he is, his recklessness can ruin an entire game. And we saw that. We witnessed that firsthand on Sunday night. Is it going to be something that we're going to see going forward? I don't think so. I don't know, honestly. But I will say this. He needs to clean it up. And someone in that organization needs to tell him that he needs to clean it up. Because it almost seems as if Josh Allen has this mentality that I can do what I want whenever I want. And it cost them a game on Sunday. A winnable game on Sunday. Not only did you lose, but you lost a divisional game. Week 17 comes back around. We can be looking back at week 1 and saying, you know what? That's the one game that had them sitting on the couch during the playoffs.
So I don't think it's that serious. I do feel like it is squarely on Josh Allen's shoulders, though. I think he is to blame solely for this game. Right. You can't have 4 turnovers, 2 of which in the fourth quarter, that almost had y'all should have been done in the fourth quarter. And he showed us what he's working with on the last drive to get y'all in the field goal range. But he's playing the game like he's playing Madden. He just stats, launch that boy. Sure, I can fit it in here. Foul. And those was on target. The one that he had, the third interception homeboy had where he slid out of bounds.
Yeah.
Those right there in between on the money. If Gabe Davis ran a better corner route, maybe, you know what I'm saying, would have kept the safety where they was at so Josh had the window. Sure. But with y'all's aspirations, it's going to come down to him. It's the most important position on the field. Has the most impact on what can bring you over the top or hold you back. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's on him.
Yep.
We seen it. We know
Talk to the camera. Talk to the camera. You ain't gotta keep.
Oh!
Talk to the people.
We know who we talking
Talk to
to.
the people. The people there. Talk to the people.
Hey, look. Josh Allen got the tools. We seen him. They right there. It's just consistency. And it's something where you have an overwhelming amount of turnovers. Everybody turned the ball over occasionally, sure. There are only a few dudes we've seen who keep him down. Aaron Rodgers, throughout history, 4-5 interceptions over the last couple years. 4-5 interceptions, except for last season. Like, we have dudes who are anomalies. But everybody turn the ball over. You got to keep them down. Play smart football. To not try to win every play. Like, not trying to throw touchdowns and throw 60-yard bombs every play. Right. That interception he had,
the first
they
one,
said it was a punt. He could have ran for the first down.
He could have ran for the first.
Could have just took a one-on-one. Maybe he got up out of it, take off for another 15-20.
Dawson Knox was open on that play.
That too. But we know what it comes down to. It comes down to your quarterback. But I don't think y'all are, by any stretch, out of the running for the Super Bowl off of week 1. Just week 1. But it is concerning. He can't do that. You would have thought that he would have watched the tape, watched the replay, and fixed it, but he just kept doing the same thing.
Did you not feel that told you a little something about the Bills? Because, again, like I stated, there were certain teams that would be able to put that game away, and the Bills just kind of sort of let it linger a little too long. Does that tell you anything about them going forward? Like, hey,
the whole team?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
I feel like everybody else did their job. Maybe the line, you want to have concerns about the line, but you also had an all-pro on the other side. You had difference makers at every level for them.
I get
Mosley
that.
dropped the pick too. That was
I get
crazy.
that. I just
I put this on Josh Allen. That's it.
That's fair. That's
really where I'm at. I don't feel like anybody else.
Hey, Marcus, let's go.
Well, so for me, it's definitely on Josh. I do think though
Take the ball,
if you
Queasy
really
style.
want to just look at the last few years, I think every quarterback has these type of games they're just off. Like obviously Josh Allen, the difference is like this is a game where Josh Allen, all he needed to do was just be, to be honest, average, and they would have won the game because if you just did the check downs and did what the defense gave you, they wouldn't have gave the Jets put the Jets in position to even have a chance to win the game because they just could have kicked field goals at the least in order to just put the game away. They didn't even need touchdowns. I think that we've seen Josh Allen have these type of games where it's just a lot of turnovers, and usually to beat the Bills, it's either two things. I feel like you got to have a game where Josh Allen has this many turnovers, or the other quarterback just has to play so phenomenal that they just outscore the Bills. So I'm not worried. I think the Bills will still win the division. I think they're still one of the best teams in the AFC. So I'm not too worried about this game in particular. And we've seen Josh Allen in the playoffs where he's been really good. And so if that's what really matters, and I feel like, yes, like this game was a stinker and it's on him and he has to live up, own it. But it's like, at the end of the day, I think he'll still be one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, if not the NFL. And, by season's end, the Bills will win the division and be in the playoffs. Then from there, Josh just has to get over that hump and not have the type of game that he had in the playoffs last year against the Bengals. Or, really, that was just the worst playoff game that he's had, I think, as a Bills. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's bad, but
He was launching that thing to Deontay Hardy, bro.
Well,
Double coverage. What are we doing? What are we doing?
When Aaron Rodgers won one of his MVPs against the Saints, he had 3 interceptions. And he still ended up winning the MVP. So, it is concerning, but
It ain't
not too much. Like, I feel like it's just one of those games that it's just, hey, he played super bad. Like, obviously we're going to talk about it. But at the end of the day, he comes back next week and plays well. Then we're just kind of forget about it.
Keeping your head up.
And the one credence I give is even though he played so terrible, at least it was against a good defense where it's like
He's not feeling you.
you played that way, and it's like, okay, at least it wasn't against
I'm gonna let it rock.
The
Sure.
Patriots or somebody.
That makes you feel better.
It
really don't matter.
To
But
me, it's forgivable if it's against a less formidable opponent. Honestly, if he had a bad game against, I don't know, if he had a bad game against the Raiders or something like that, who they do play on Sunday. I hope I didn't put that out there for him. But if they had a bad game against that, I can sweep that under the rug. But I feel like these matchups for him, for the team, for Sean McDermott going forward, these games are the type of games where you need to say, okay, you know what? This is who we are. We're going to win this game. We're going to win this game in convincing fashion. Like, not have your worst outings in the biggest games. That's the thing.
But he usually doesn't.
He usually doesn't.
for me, it's
but
how he turned the
Like,
ball over.
I think
I don't feel like it don't matter who he's
But-
played. It's how he's giving people the other ball.
But
Like
to
he's
be-
fumbling the snap, getting it, fumbling it again.
And to be
forcing it
fair,
down,
I don't
you
know
I'm
what
saying?
it is with the. It's been the
decision maker
Jets.
for me.
Well, yeah,
It's
'cause
been
he
the
had-
Jets.
he had a-
The Jets have his number.
He had a bad game against them on the road last year.
The past 2 years, he's had his
Yeah.
But
subpar games against the
if
Jets.
we think about his turnovers, the Jets caused what? I don't even maybe just the one that Whitehead had where he jumped Gabe Davis's
Justin
route.
didn't cause any of them.
All of them, Josh just
Well,
Launched
that's
the
what
boys
I'm
up,
saying.
and fumbling
But
himself.
it's
But
something about his mentality against the
but
Jets.
that's the
if
thing.
that's what it
It's
is,
just like-
sure.
In a 6-point game, that's 4 less possessions that you have to score. One of those
sure.
possessions
And
could have been.
here's the thing, though.
I put that on him on the defensive plan.
Is
That's
it
fair.
because that he did subpar against the Jets last year that he just wanted to make a statement
Right.
Maybe.
and it went backwards?
Not to
That makes
mention, you
sense.
wanted to
Like-
also make a statement against the Jets because of the amount of hoopla that they got in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
offseason.
So it makes sense.
As defending AFC East champs,
Yeah.
you're looking at it like, wait a minute, why are people talking about the Jets
So it
more than us?
makes- it makes a little
So it's
sense.
obvious he's trying to make a statement, but at the same time, it's like, man, look, you as the leader of this team really goes as far as Josh Allen goes.
Yeah.
So you need to be a little bit more wiser when it comes to the football. That's not
Yeah,
saying
that he put himself over the team because
Absolutely.
he was like, I want to be able to show that I'm this against them.
absolutely,
And he failed.
absolutely.
So
Yep.
I think that's the main thing for this is he put himself over the team and wanted to say, hey, I want to show up the Jets and I want to show up this fan base of like, I'm that guy against the Jets, and he just failed.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Close it out.
I think the interceptions or turnover thing is super overblown in general for his career, personally. Because if I just did from 2021 and 2022 season, Josh Allen has thrown 3 more interceptions than Joe Burrow. I can't do 2020 because Joe Burrow got hurt halfway through. He had 5 interceptions that year. So I'm not going to count that year. So, but if I did, I would say that he probably would end somewhere around the 12,
11,
14
12.
range that he's been averaging as well. So when I do that, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so that's 3 more interceptions, but Burrow doesn't have a problem, but Josh has a problem. That always bothers me with that framing. Bothers me because I'm like, okay, now obviously this type of game can't happen. This game can't happen. 3 in a single game is not okay. 4 turnovers total is not okay. But what I'm saying by overblown is all I've been hearing all week is that he's got a turnover problem because they're doing the math from 2020 till now. This is what it's been, and I'm like, Joe Burrow's not really far behind.
If you go back to 2018.
Well, yeah, if you lose his rookie season, bro, I don't know what to tell
he
you.
leads the league in turnovers, not just interceptions, in turnovers.
And leads the league in touchdowns as well.
For me, it's where he's turning the ball over. He had an
Since
issue last year
2018, he leads
throwing
the league
picks
in touchdowns
in the red
as well.
zone. He was killing y'all's possession again, like he was talking about
Again,
earlier, taking away field goals.
I'm just
for me, it's more of where than
I'm again.
how many.
I'm
But
not talking about. I'm not sitting here making an excuse for this game. I'm just saying the overall picture when it comes to him.
I mean, it could be
As
better.
an individual, I'm like the framing is a little overblown.
Do you? But
Just a
like,
bit.
it's-
but do you see it
Because they're not looking at other quarterbacks.
But for this game,
But I think because if you add in interceptions and fumbles,
Right.
I think it's more than what the Joe
Right,
Burrow
but then
had.
now I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, he's having more fumbles because he's asked to run the ball because he's asked to do more than other quarterbacks.
But that's
are.
his strength.
So that's not his strength.
that's not
It's
that's
a
not his
strength.
strength.
But I'm not going to say it's his
But
strength.
that's-
But I'm saying compared to other quarterbacks,
But when you-
there's only a
But when
there's
you
only
take-
a few other quarterbacks that can
But
run the ball.
when
like
you
he
take
can.
that particular context, you can't help but look at how often they ran him and how for years we've been saying you need to run Josh a little less.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
And that's not on Josh.
Right. That's not on him.
Right. So that's why I'm like, I always hate when people bring in the fumbles. I'm like, well, the other quarterbacks don't have the opportunity to fumble the ball because they're not asking them to run the rock.
Well, Daniel
So-
Jones,
Yeah.
he
He's
found
right,
a
yes.
way in the pocket.
So,
But Daniel Jones found a way.
To what?
Fumble all the time.
Well, yes, but a lot of
But-
his are more so when he's trying to run, like in this game, where he's trying to run up the middle and he fumbles it. Like that's where
he was getting stripped. It would be just have it in your hand.
No, I'm talking
Daniel
about
Jones.
Josh.
Oh, my bad.
I'm saying his.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of them happen when he's on
Would
the
be
run.
him trying to do a little too
Too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the same time, though, the turnovers are too much. Like he needs to dial it back. It's not as though they're not an issue.
What
you can say they're overblown, but it's definitely something that he needs to
What
fix.
I took from you was that at least from this game, from the context of this game, yes, it was a huge issue with his turnovers.
This
fair.
game, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm not trying to avoid blame from him. He deserves all that blame he's
Right.
getting. I'm actually kind of tired of hearing him say, "This is on me.
It's
I
my
gotta
fault."
do better."
Yeah.
I'm over it, bro.
Yeah.
At this point, Josh, you either put up or shut up.
Right.
Like I don't have time for you to be doing that.
Right.
But I also then framing in my head, you only cost us 3 games last year. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, can I be mad at you for only costing
what
me
3
3
games did he cost Show?
Vikings,
Yep.
Jets.
Yep.
I forgot the third team we lost to, but he cost us that one too, I'm sure.
He only lost
Where'd
3
you say
games.
Miami?
Yes.
The Dolphins?
The Dolphins
The
game.
first game?
He cost us that because Isaiah McKenzie was open for the touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown, and he threw it into the dirt.
Just putting it out there to you guys. I
Threw it
believe
into the
that's
dirt.
all 3 of their regular season losses.
Yes, I know. No, I know. But then how could I be mad at you if you only lost 3 games? Because I don't put the Bengals loss on him. That was a whole team debacle. I can't point that, but I can
That
point
game
to
didn't count. Or are you talking about
No,
the
the
playoffs?
playoffs.
playoff
Yes,
game.
but I can point to him and be like, that fumble against the Vikings at the goal line. Come on, bro. I can sit here
So,
and
okay.
say against the Jets, those turnovers in that Jets game. Come on,
Is that
bro.
wait, even if it's just 3 games in a 13-3 season? That's not a problem to you that your quarterback cost you all 3 of those games?
Because he won me all the others. Like
To
I have
be
to balance
fair,
that out. Like
To
we
be
won
fair,
all
it
the other
is like they
games because
win
of
because
him.
of Josh,
I'm
and they
winning.
also lose because of
yeah,
Josh.
and that's what I'm saying. Like there isn't any. All the other games that they won was because he played well and got them into those situations. So I can't then sit here and be like, kill you for having 3 bad games out of 17. That's my back and forth with it. But again, this game, he was bad. Now there were things that I did like about the Bills. It's just nothing to do with Josh Allen.
Go ahead. Lay him out real quickly so we can get your
That's
little
it. So we
game
can-
to the
yeah.
end. Go ahead.
Okay.
What the Bills do well?
I like the fact that they are featuring James Cook as the guy. I thought that Osiris Torrance, from what I saw, he didn't give up any pressures, didn't give up any sacks, and he went up against Quinnen plenty of times.
They have a great
And
draft
he
pick.
held his own. Right tackle, though, Spencer Brown, kill that noise. He got to go. Connor McGovern, from everything that I've analyzed, left guard, he's got a timing issue with Dawkins. Their timing is not right in the run game, which is whatever. They can fix that. Again, that's fixable. On the other side of the ball, I thought Christian Benford did a hell of a job for his first being the starter at corner. I thought Terrell Bernard did well. I think that the run game itself, subtracting 1 play, did extremely well. And I found out doing my research that the 83-yard run, they were not lined up properly, which is what popped that off. But I think they were 27 for 200-something yards. You take away the 83 yards, it's 26 for like 100-something, averaging less than 3 yards a carry. So I'm like, okay, you guys can fix this alignment and not give up 83 yards. So I'm like, I'm okay with what I saw from the run game as well, subtracting that 83-yard run. Because you only average 3 yards per app besides that 83 yards. You can't take it away, but I'm just saying.
Christian Benford saved 4 points on that drive.
Christian Benford did.
He did.
He did. Even though, and me and Eric talked about it, Brees Hall don't look the same.
In terms of what?
I didn't say that.
I think he lost a little.
The step. I feel like
I
last
think
year
he
he
lost. I
definitely
think
would
if
have
this
took that
was
to the
last year
crib.
before the injury, I don't think Christian Benford's catching
I don't think he's
him.
getting caught.
I think last year
year.
before the injury, he would have made that touchdown. I thought he lost. I think
But he
may
was
have lost a
never
little.
a
Just a
speed
little
guy.
bit.
He was
What
never
is
a
it?
speed
Is
guy.
it losing a step, or is it
he's
just
just
him
warming
not
up.
100% being recovered?
Okay, maybe
Because
maybe
you
it's
got to
that.
keep in
Maybe
mind
it's that.
he wasn't cleared till late in the summer anyway.
So maybe it's that. All I'm saying is that before the injury, I don't think Benford would have.
Hey
caught
man,
him.
look, you had me watching Blue Lock. You see that boy Chicory? You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, he wasn't moving like that.
I thought he looked
Once he
normal
got
to
to
me.
the-
Yeah, I thought he looked.
I
Got
thought
to
he
the
looked
ball.
like Brees
I thought
Hall
that
to
was
me.
funny. I was
Striding that
surprised
joint
that
out.
someone caught him because even in college,
I'm
he was a
more-
breakout
I'm
guy.
more
He used to
upset-
run
But
away
he
from
definitely
guys.
was. I feel like he lost his step
college,
for sure.
college.
Really?
I feel like college.
During that run, yeah, he wasn't.
he wasn't no speed.
He wasn't no
If
22
wasn't
miles
going
per hour.
83
He
yards,
wasn't.
especially going 83
Guys,
yards. I think he just got
also,
signed.
I love this conversation, but I just realized that we spent 25 minutes
We have.
talking about this one game, which
Yeah.
is beautiful, but I'm going to have to kill it and move us forward, staying in the AFC.
Probably about 7-8 minutes too
Staying-
late, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get
Staying
it
in the
together.
AFC East, let's talk Dolphins-Chargers.
Ooh.
Hey, Tua was fantastic. Tyreek Hill,
I
fantastic.
wanted him to start with Tua.
Hey, I gotta get my two out. I'm gonna get my
Get your
two
2 out.
Man was fantastic. 466. I'm talking perfect ball placements. Like, and Tyreek Hill being the speedster that he was, man, Tua was throwing him open on some of these routes, as well as Tyreek Hill just burning the corners. J.C. Jackson, I'm sorry, man, but you did. And that's okay, though, because he's one of the best. So, sometimes you can't help it.
Tyreek is unguardable.
But, and it's hard. It's like, as long as he has a quarterback, he's going to get the ball. So
Does he have a quarterback?
460, yeah, Tua's a...
I want him to answer that.
Hey,
I'm ready whenever.
he'll get his chance, but Tua is a quarterback, and I think if he stays healthy,
he is indeed a quarterback.
I'm gonna say this.
Observation. You're doing a great job.
I'm saying this: if Tua stays healthy, he's gonna lead the league in passing yards. That's all I'm gonna say.
To Cordell's point, give it a little flavor. When you watch Tua throw the ball, it don't look like the other great quarterbacks in the league. It really just looked like he can recognize space and he can hit the space. That's what I see. Now, sometimes on the slants and stuff, run POs, you can see the timing is there.
What is it? What is it about that?
But you need a quarterback to be able to find the space.
Is it lack of size? Is it him being a left-handed quarterback? What is it?
I think it's just a
left-handed.
left-handed.
For me, it's really just the eyeball test for me. It don't look the same. Like it looked like when it looked like a Michael Penix.
I know you
ball,
can.
Even somebody like that. I guess I'm thinking more.
But that's the thing, though.
I haven't seen him at Washington.
Tua is all about timing.
Right.
Not
that offense is about timing.
Yeah.
And when he's on time and his receivers are open, he be hitting.
Look, man,
you gotta give him credit for doing his job.
This was Tua before he got hurt last year. He came out last year. You go back to the first 2 games of the season, Tua was on it, and he was in the MVP conversation for a reason. He comes in week 1 of this particular season on the road in LA, and he throws for 466
against a team that they got dominated by the year before.
466 and 3 touchdowns. Like, that's, come on, man. Like, you can't give him any credit for that.
His team makes it
amazing
easy. When
performance.
you have somebody like Tyreek literally was open the whole time.
Okay, but that's like saying
how many quarterbacks can we say that for?
Yes, it is.
It looked different.
How many quarterbacks can we say that for?
He's not.
Because even think about how Stephon gets open.
He's not doing it.
Stephon, this is timing. Josh be putting it bow. Like when he's hitting Stephon right.
The
clean,
timing
smooth.
is the timing
he
is
just put it out there. He put it in front.
No. The timing is there too.
The timing, yes, but you're putting it in open space on a crosser. When you're going across the field, you're waiting for your gap.
Did you not see the post route where it was 6
I'm
in the area?
I'm not saying that he don't make good throws.
So do you want Tyreek to not separate so it can make the throws look better?
Again,
like, what do you want?
I'm not trying to absolve Tua of any credit. I'm just saying, when it comes to how his receivers get open in their passing game, I put more credit on their receivers than I do him. That's all.
But he throws them open. There's a lot of passes where he throws them open. We've seen the tape.
Wild.
Throws them open.
I
think there's a difference for me in terms of throwing somebody open and leading somebody to space.
I don't know.
I think those are two different things in my
has to
head.
do.
When you throwing somebody open, they're not open, and then you make them open.
All I know is this. In week 4, if he lights your defense up in Buffalo, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear nothing.
Sure.
Nothing.
All right, hey, let him speak.
But go ahead.
How you feel about Tua Tagovailoa? Go ahead.
The floor is yours.
Let me make this very clear.
Ski ye.
Very, very clear. I have never said that Tua was a bad quarterback. Never said he was buns, trash.
This sounds like Stephen A. talking about Kyrie.
I have never said.
I've always been a fan of him.
I've never been a fan.
Brothers box
but
office.
I have never said anything like that. Where I put Tua is the same place that I put a Kirk Cousins and maybe even a Dak. But the crazy thing is, they've all played in the playoffs and Tua still has not. So I've at least seen more of them in big moments than I have with Tua in big moments.
He was hurt.
Fair, but
I'm just saying what I have seen.
Did the team
Am
make
I
It's your
lying?
turn. Did the team make a play?
I won't let y'all all talk and talk and talk.
Okay, you're right.
I mean,
Okay.
we being real. If he would have played, he would have beat y'all.
So,
Really?
moving on. Hey, a win is a win is a win is a win. That's all I know. That's all I know.
that is an E-Rob quote.
All right.
You
So,
saying that?
as I was saying,
That's some boo boo. That later.
my whole argument again is that can he put up yards? Sure. So can Kirk. So can Dak. They can all put up yards. That does not mean that I believe that you are somebody who can go toe to toe with the top 5, 6 quarterbacks.
Cowboys got the number one scoring offense over the last few years. But we still talk about Dak like this.
Exactly, and that is where I am living in, where it's like, sure, you can put up points and you can put up yards, but I don't think you can go toe to toe with the top 5 to 6. Just like I don't think Kirk can, just like I don't think Dak can. I think you can put up numbers. Now, to what Eric said. Bro, there are plenty of times where there is nobody within 3 to 5 yards of Hill or Waddle. And I'm like, and you saying throwing open, I'm like, no, they're just open. They are not. They're not just open. They are college open, which is a completely different open.
That's Tyreek's fault.
Open. I'm not blaming Tyreek. I'm just naming facts. I'm saying facts like Tua's a quarterback. That is the time. I'm saying a fact.
And they did a good job at hitting his open
5
receivers.
yards of
but
space.
I'm not taking away
and you want
him
me
doing his
to
job.
be like, bro, that's crazy. You don't see what he's doing. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I would expect you to do that.
You did it for Mahomes when he was throwing to the same receiver?
No.
Who was
easily
open.
And
so
Tyreek Hill, those look completely different.
But Tyreek is still the same receiver.
It looks different as in Tyreek puts up better numbers with Tua?
No, I'm saying the throws look different.
You're still throwing to an open receiver.
We have seen several throws Tua's made downfield where Tyreek slows down.
I do all the time.
Patrick Mahomes would not have had
because Tyreek is fat. Like Tyreek is going to slow down for a number of guys.
No, there are.
But Tua just makes sure he just doesn't overthrow it.
Tua has.
He constantly underthrows them.
Tyreek Hill has so much space that he can slow down and catch the ball and continue to run. That is how much space he has.
You know what's
and I'm like, you want me to give him credit?
What's interesting?
Yeah, because there are throws that he makes to where Tyreek Hill isn't necessarily open, but he throws it to a spot.
What's interesting about your statement about whether he can go toe to toe with the top 5 or 6 in the league. Okay, he already proved last year. He went toe to toe with Lamar and he beat Lamar.
No.
Oh, listen to me. All right. He went toe to toe with Lamar. He beat Lamar. He went toe to toe with Justin Herbert. He beat Justin Herbert. This year, he also has games against Patrick Mahomes, against you, and he also has a game against.
He beat Josh Allen last year.
Right, and he also I don't think they play. I don't think they play the Bengals in the regular season. But if they see him in the playoffs, he'll have that opportunity there. I don't know what else you made that statement yourself, or whether he can go toe to toe with the top. He's going to have that proven by the end of this year because he's going to have a long list of quarterbacks he's going up against. So far, he's 3-0. He's beaten Josh. He's beaten Lamar. He's beaten Herbert.
I can't continue to listen to you guys. Guys, if your secondary is out, you want to give that credit. I'm not giving you credit for beating a third-string secondary. That's like preseason.
That's not his fault.
I have a better question.
But how are you going to sit here and say, bro, yeah, you beat the Bills? Well, with that secondary, you should.
When we watched,
what are we talking about?
Were they favored?
I got a question and a follow-up.
Were they favored?
I got a question and a follow-up. Look. When we watched Tua play the other day, do you think that that's Tua's peak? Do you think that's the best form of Tua that we're going to get?
Against the Chargers?
The one that we just seen against the Chargers.
466? I mean...
If that's the peak, then goddamn.
If that's the peak, he's in trouble.
How is he in trouble?
I was throwing 466.
Hold on. I'm not focused on the yards.
When you brought up...
You're talking about yards.
You brought up Lamar.
I'm talking about play.
And you brought up Josh Allen when Tua
if he
went
does that all
with
season, he's winning the MVP.
That? Sure. Probably.
So what are we talking about?
What I'm saying is when he played Lamar last year, we played Josh Allen last year, they didn't play at their best. If they played at their best, Tua's not winning that game.
No. Lamar did play
Lamar
for their
did
best
play
because
at
they
his
had a
best.
huge lead, and his defense gave the lead up.
Because of what? No secondary.
Okay, so
No,
if
my
Lamar,
fault. You're right.
Okay, so why didn't Lamar just keep
You're
scoring?
right. That's my
then?
bad. You're right. I was thinking about that Giants game.
No, you're right on
He
that
was
part.
up
You're
28.
right about that part. But I'm also right on my part. We can both be right.
Okay, cool. Fine.
We can both be right on that
If
argument.
you're gonna say
Lamar
Honestly-
did take his foot off the pedal, but
this
at the
is-
same time,
this is-
the job was easy.
I don't know what
because
type of
the
clarification
secondary
you're
wasn't-
going to
Okay,
provide.
so the game against this
I-
game
I-
against
I-
the Chargers,
I don't,
like,
I don't know what
was it?
I don't know what type of
That's fine.
clarification you're going to provide, but it honestly feels like when it comes to Tua, you're not going to measure or look at anything that he does unless he's going up against a secondary that has 4 All-Pro guys or 4 Pro Bowlers, or is literally ranked top 10 in passing yards allowed. No, how many quarterbacks are going to see those type of defenses in the season anyway? Even Mahomes doesn't see that many
has
defenses.
Josh lit up a defense like that?
Yes.
Who?
Which season?
He didn't do it Sunday.
Which season do you want?
He didn't do it
Yeah,
Sunday.
okay.
What
Okay,
type-
which season do you want, though?
What type defense? It could be.
He lit up the 49ers' number 1 ranked defense that nobody thought he was going to. That's why I said, which season you want to go to? The Bills have signature wins. Josh has signature wins in every
That was the
season.
number 1 ranked secondary or number 1 ranked defense. With who has started?
Ranked
Who's starting at
defense,
quarterback?
I don't know.
Who started at cornerback?
At quarter?
At corner.
Like, who
For
are the
the-
corners?
Because if you say
49ers.
an age Richard Sherman, then yeah, we're gonna have to talk. Because you're not gonna slander Tua beating up and picking on J.C. Jackson, but then you're gonna give Josh credit for picking on an age Richard Sherman.
Or Trevarius Ward, like,
Come on
on
now.
now.
What we doing?
dude, like the 49ers don't have any All-Pro corners or Pro Bowl corners.
They haven't had any in a long time.
Yeah.
So where's Tua ranked as y'all's? And if we think about quarterbacks in the league, top 5, where's Tua at? Is
He's
Tua
not top
number
five.
in
He's
the
not
top
top
five.
five.
Where's he at?
We're
He's
not
top
saying
10.
that. He's in that top 10 from
He's top
7
10.
to 12.
Yeah,
you can.
he's in that range. For
He's
me.
in that range.
Yeah. He still has a
Like
ways to go
nobody's
to
saying
get
that
top
he's a
5.
top
And where?
7 to 12. That's where Tua is. In
I
that
have
range.
him 11 to 15.
I probably have him somewhere in between that.
So we're not really
We're all the
that
same
far
range.
off from each other.
Probably.
No.
So then why am I
we-
getting
we-
so much crap?
Because you make it seem like he's just not good at all.
I said he's not good enough to go toe to toe.
And to be honest, 15?
Is he better than Justin Herbert?
Tua?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He beat him.
He did, but he beat him last year too. So I don't know.
Anyway, go ahead, host man.
And the two of them.
What we got
I mean,
next?
they're going to be a story just because they were drafted back to back.
Absolutely. Trey Young,
So-
Luka Doncic, same thing.
So,
All right. Steelers 49ers.
Oh,
hey, look, at the end of the day,
I'm not
What?
gonna do
that
trends.
boy's nice.
What the hell was that? Pittsburgh.
No.
What was that? I know that
they
was
played a
separate.
really good team.
I know they did. But damn,
yeah, that was bad.
they look
Considering
like they
the
didn't belong.
preseason-
They look like they didn't belong on the field, especially for a
After
team
the
that played their
preseason.
starters in all 3 preseason games.
Yeah.
Was the one of y'all bring up when Najee met Fred Warner in the hole? Pow! Everything was downhill from there.
I said it before the season, and
You
I
just
will
bring
continue
Najee
it.
down.
I
He's 230
am not a
pounds.
believer in Kenny Pickett. I'm not a believer in anybody in that quarterback draft class.
Who else
Oh, yeah, that quarterback draft class.
I don't
Malik
believe in
Willis.
that entire quarterback draft class. And this does not help. And I have him on fantasy because I had to take the L.
That's
your
where it's
fault.
at.
No.
That's your fault.
It's not my fault because
It's really
I
Payne.
had It was Jordan Love and Kenny Pickett. I was gonna go Jordan Love, but he has the same bye week as my other quarterback, so I had no other choice
Oh, see, you
but to
should've
go
just-
Kenny Pickett.
You could have went Jordan Love and just take a loss that week.
Taking a loss that week.
By week 13.
I was just like, all right,
Great.
but in all serious, I'm just like, yeah. I mean, Kenny Pickett, you're
one
gonna
game.
have to show me.
It's one game,
I mean,
and he played
although
against
I'm
our
not
top
even
It's-
talking-
it's
I'm
one-
going back
it's
from
one
last
game-
season to this season. I'm
It
just like,
is
Kenny,
one
I
game,
just don't believe it.
and they went up against arguably the best team in the league. But I have to look at Mike Tomlin in this situation. I'm like, man, your team looked completely unprepared in
Yeah.
week 1 on both sides of the ball in all
Except
facets.
for other than TJ Watt, he was the only
They
one
just
guy that
they
produced
just
the
look
whole
they
game.
just look completely unprepared. And again, I go back to the point that Marcus made about playing in the preseason and how that helped certain teams. Brock Purdy didn't play a minute of preseason, but Brock Purdy looked like what he did last year. He looked like he picked up where he left off. However, the Steelers offense looked as if they need some time together or something. Not
Or
to
they
mention,
need somebody better at the helm.
But no,
Maybe,
But
but
to be fair, what Kenny Pickett did say in the press conference, he was just like, yeah, like the guys that we played weren't at the level of the guys we played in preseason.
Right.
And I think that could be a big thing, is because they played their starters in every preseason game. I think that they were just shocked with the different speed that they saw, especially
that's
against.
bad because even us as fans know that the speed changes from preseason to regular season, from regular season to playoffs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what we doing?
Absolutely.
Y'all ain't rookies. This everybody, all of them are
Dealing with the same
majority,
circumstances.
except for
Right.
like 6 or 7 of them. Everybody else is not a rookie. You should know.
To make a quick note before we move on, we also need to note the injuries that they have at this point, this early in the season. The Steelers with Deontay Johnson, Cam Hayward is hurt now as well. They have some issues there with their key players being injured at this point of the year. Yeah, and these are guys that they need going forward. So just make a note of that. Keep it in the back of your mind going forward.
And Christian McCaffrey back to being the best running back in the league.
Boom.
Go ahead.
Nah, I'm taking Black Jesus.
Oh, that's so
Look
nice.
at that! For those who don't know, for those of you who don't know, Bijan Robinson
back
is
to
who
you,
is referred to as Black Jesus apparently on this show by one E-Rob.
Hey.
But
Messiah.
going from one stinker to another stinker, let's go from Kenny Pickett to Joe Burrow.
That is a stinker.
Terrible game
I
from
thought he was
Burrow.
going to throw our team up under the bus.
Hey, you know,
Terrible
terrible
game
game by
plan.
Joe.
Us average teams, we sitting this one out. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Terrible game by Joe. Worst game probably of his career, other than throwing 4 interceptions against the Steelers last week one. So we kind of know Joe Burrow always goes
Everybody
off.
got one of those?
Yeah, so Joe Burrow goes out.
They won, though.
Everybody
Oh, no, they
No,
lost.
they
lost.
lost. They lost.
For the divisional opponent, 4 turnovers, including a pick 6.
Yeah.
Hey, if that's the trajectory I'm on, I'm liking it.
So no, but you know, Joe Burrow, he said it in his press conference that, you know, it's not going to define who they are, which I believe,
right.
because obviously weather conditions played a part, and it's not an excuse, but they just had no type of rhythm, and obviously, just like last offseason, he was injured, so he didn't really do a whole lot to prepare for the game. So it's just one of those things where with Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense, I'm not worried, especially because they actually lose against the Browns a lot. I think it's 6 of the last 7.
Isn't he
lost.
0-4?
He's never beaten the Browns
Yeah.
at Browns.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Not-
No, but I think he's 6 of the last 7 just against them in general. I think.
Either 5 or 6.
It's like 5. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 seasons. He's only beaten them once.
142 total yards of offense.
The crazy thing is the Browns didn't have much more. It's
No.
just-
No, they didn't. Deshaun was throwing balls.
Yeah.
142 total yards from that grouping of personnel is just mind-boggling. Even if it's week 1, I get it. But 142 total yards from that team with Burrow coming back. Again, another situation where your starting quarterback didn't play the preseason. You know, he literally just got medically cleared a few weeks ago. So you have to question cohesion and timing and things of that nature. How long is it going to take for them to get out of this rut? Because they have Baltimore coming up, and this is a team that's staring at 0-2 in the face right now. So it's time to turn it on. Same thing with the Bills. Same thing with a couple other teams that started off 0-1. It's if you want to make this deep postseason run that a lot of people expect you to make, it's time to turn it on. Like, losing games in September is not the way to go, especially in the AFC this year.
I do feel like we need to give the Browns D-line some credit.
Absolutely.
That boy Myles Garrett
Absolutely.
moved him around the field. He said over the offseason that he was going to introduce himself to every lineman this year. That was what his goal was.
Absolutely.
And they made it known. He having pressures from D tackle from the end, it didn't matter. And that him and Zadarius on opposite ends, they're going to be a problem. Dalvin in the middle, Shelby in the middle.
Got to give that
They
secondary.
sturdy.
That secondary deserves some credit as well,
Just
man,
a little bit.
for how they defended T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
But I'm also not concerned about the Bengals offense. They're going to get it together.
They're gonna get it together, right? They're gonna turn it around.
In theory.
All right. Last game of our recap: Cowboys Giants.
Lord have mercy.
a bloodbath.
Another
Man.
sticker. Again, I just want sticker. I'm just offensive stickers. I'm just lining them up for you guys.
That was the theme. That was the
Honestly,
central theme in week one.
Daniel Jones
across
might have
the
had the
league.
worst week of a quarterback.
Oh, they had the worst week of a team in the entire. They didn't
Yeah,
score a
You're
point.
saying Daniel Jones was worse than Josh?
Oh yes,
They didn't score a point.
because at least Josh got them points.
Jesus, Bryce Young put up 10.
Yeah,
They didn't score a point.
CJ Stroud had 9.
They didn't score a point.
A point.
9 is no touchdowns, though, right?
No touchdowns.
But you still got scoring drives. You still have scoring drives to your name.
like
Like
they
it's
had
just
nothing.
nothing.
At
Why
home.
they ran the ball so well on the first drive, and then it never.
All right,
they
so
never
let me ask you guys this:
built that flow again.
Was it the Eagles? Was it the Giants were that bad, or the Cowboys really that good?
I think the
Giants
Cowboys.
are that bad.
I think the Cowboys are that good.
I think
Probably a little bit of both. The Cowboys D line
If
is
you had
also
to choose,
scary.
if
I don't
you had
want
to
to
choose.
choose.
If I had to choose, I'd
You had
have
to
to say
choose.
Giants are that bad.
I'm thinking the Giants are that bad. I'm honest. That's where I'm with it.
Because the score is 0.
I think that
That's
the
hard.
Cowboys are that good because Dak didn't even throw for 150 yards, and they still beat a team by 40 points.
That's why I say the Giants were that bad.
The Giants were that
I think the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys
think
are
about
that
it
good.
like this:
Well, they lost all three
the Cowboys,
They
the
did.
Cowboys would have won the game off of just the very first play that they had on special teams. Where they just blocked the field goal for a touchdown. That just wins them the game off rip. If we just gonna do it like that, so they didn't even have to score on offense, whether it was field goals, touchdowns, anything.
Yeah, but look at what they showcased, man. That was a team that their first 2 scores, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, their first 2 scores didn't even come on offense. They
No,
came on a
it's
block,
deep-
they
special
came on a
teams
block
and
field goal
defense.
and a pick 6.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Is it? But how? Why would it not be the Cowboys are that good?
Because I think the
first of all,
Giants
how
just made
often-
mistakes.
How often do you see a team's first 2 tutties be something like that? How do you think that's something that's replicable?
How good do you have to be for your first 2 scores to be that?
But think about
those
how
are
it
depends.
happened.
I think those
It's
are
circumstantial.
miscues.
How it
Those are
happened.
circumstantial. More so on the block field goal than
The field goal, they just didn't block the guy, so he just
He
blocked
jumped over the line.
That was they didn't block him. He got over, blocked it, touchdown. The interception return, bro. Daniel Jones threw it to Saquon. Saquon gets it. Obviously, gets hit. Ball pops
hit.
up
Textbook hit.
and caught for an interception. It's like
because Daniel, it looked like.
So the
I mean,
first
Saquon never
one,
seen him. I don't know.
So
who
from
put
that,
it
the
on.
first one was literally miscues by the Giants. That had nothing to do with the Cowboys. The Cowboys didn't do anything. The Giants screwed up by having a free blocker. Like the second one, the ball bounced their way. Like it could have bounced. He could have got hit, and it could have just went to the ground. It didn't have to pop right up for you to be able to take it. So that's why I'm saying like these are things. Seemed like everything was going the Cowboys' way.
I mean, sometimes
So-
I want to give a team credit for
No,
being
no, no.
in the right place at the right time.
I think they did. I think the Cowboys are good. I just don't think
You can create your
they
own
are best team in the NFL. Good.
Like, I
right
think-
now. That's why I said, are they that?
I didn't
good?
say that. I didn't say they're best.
Well, that's where people are
Simple.
now having them. That's why I was asking.
The
do you think
Niners.
they're that good?
I had the Cowboys as my number 1 seed in the NFC. I think they will be that. But I just think to be 40-0, the Giants just had to be that bad to score nothing. Like, it would be different if it was like, 40-14 or 40-10. It's like, yeah, the Cowboys, but the Giants are just so bad.
That was a
they
college
couldn't
score.
even score.
That looked like Alabama in a homecoming game.
Like,
it's just,
it
it wasn't.
Granted, the Cowboys did do the Vikings like this last year. I think that was 40-3 though.
I'm glad you just said that because I want to move forward and I want to talk about this Thursday night game, Cowboys Vikings.
Is that the game?
It's Vikings.
Yeah.
So I'm
Vikings.
sorry, Eagles.
Vikings,
Sorry.
Damn, you almost hit that clean,
I
bro.
did, right?
Are we?
You doing a great job.
Eagles,
That's all.
Vikings.
Are we on the verge of seeing another bloodbath?
Nah.
Think so?
Nah.
You think the Vikings are that
Who's getting
bad?
a bloodbath? I'm sorry.
Oh, the Vikings.
No.
Nah.
We sure?
Yeah.
In Philly?
Yeah.
Bloodbath.
I'm positive.
What do you think the score for
I
the
don't
game?
think.
I think it'll be a competitive game.
I think it might be similar to what we saw with the Cowboys and Giants.
Nah, 'cause
No.
I
It may not be
I don't
40.
think
It
anybody
may not be
stopping-
40-0,
I don't
but
think anybody's stopping Justin Jefferson, and I don't think anybody.
Big
is,
play, Slay.
nobody stopped Justin Jefferson against the Bucks, and they still lost.
Yeah, but by 3.
This is defending
No, no,
NFC
no, no,
champion.
no, no, no,
The
no.
Eagles
This
just
is not
beat-
the Eagles of
just
last
beat-
year.
Yeah, the Eagles just beat the Patriots by 5.
Barely.
They're not the Eagles of last year.
Like I'm not like
we said it during our NFC conversation about preview of what we expected. I said 2 new coordinators. Do not expect them to be guns blazing out here in these streets. And they showed they are not guns blazing out here in these streets right now.
Ski.
Did the Patriots have more points on offense than they did? Aside from the pick 6 that they had, would the Patriots have had more offensive points than them?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
technically, yeah.
Technically?
So that's
That's
why
not
I'm like,
ideal.
no, like I'm like, let's temper down.
Slightest.
I'm not saying they can't get back up to speed, but they are not
I don't think
in
they're
mid-season
yet.
form. as
they're
one
not.
would
They're
say.
not
They're
there
not
yet.
there
No.
at this
They need,
moment.
especially with now they no Gainwell, so now you have to rely on. I mean, they get Rashad Penny back, and then
And
you
they still
have
got DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift. But it's like when you go
He only
game
got, what, 2
one,
touches last game?
when you go game 1 from
That's
Goddard only having 1 catch. I mean, it was hard for. Now, granted, it was a rainy game, so I'll give it weather that
for sure.
But it's I've got to see it to believe it at this point. Like, I think they'll be good. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna be second in the AFC East. But
I have 2
NFCs.
teams on upset alert, and the Eagles are one of them.
nah,
The Eagles are one of them. Upset alert. I don't know if I'm choosing the Vikings to win yet, but they should be on
they're
high alert
On alert.
of
Okay.
being upset. in
Because there
this
is no
game.
Bradbury in this game.
And on top of that, it is a Thursday night game. And as we know,
Any-
Thursday
any-
nights,
It's whatever.
bro, all
It
bets
is
to be
whatever.
off on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. The Vikings aren't a bad team. They're new
I
pieces.
think
That's
that
all.
I think
new pieces, new running
Yeah.
back.
And I really
receiver,
like what I
short
saw
touchdown.
from. I really like what I saw from Jordan Addison. I do. I like what I saw from Jordan.
No,
Addison.
he played
Too,
well.
so-
Look, that's the
Throw up
thing
your
with no
Throw up
Bradbury.
your V. Throw up your
It's going to
V.
be interesting how they do this matchups because
Darius
I
Slade
mean-
can't be everywhere.
yeah, and
Don't be
no
salty.
Gardner Johnson, so it's like who you got back there?
Yeah, they can make this.
They can make some
interesting.
noise.
Yeah.
If there's no pressure on Kirk Cousins,
Oh no, don't
make some
don't double back now.
What do you mean?
Because that's going to be
No, there'll be pressure.
yes,
There'll be pressure on.
yes. There'll be plenty.
Yeah.
is it?
Prime
Yes.
time Kirk, he got to try and...
Wait. Sorry. When you're saying pressure, are you saying pressure like?
He's talking about
outside
Woosah
Or are
pressure.
you talking about?
No, I'm talking about, like,
D-line?
No,
Don't-
that
no,
Eagles,
I'm talking about
that
Woosah.
Eagles defensive line is
There'll be some
going to
pressure.
get the Kirk.
They barely got
shouldn't.
the Mac Jones.
Okay,
He's not
All right.
wrong.
okay.
Both,
It's true.
Both, okay. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna keep this thing pushing. Let's go ahead and talk about 2 teams who came away with victories last week, both 1-0. Let's talk Packers Falcons.
Oh, okay. It's our time. All right. All right. What you want to know? What you want to talk about?
Hey, that's all you.
Let's
go
break
ahead,
it down.
start
Let's
off.
talk about it. What are the strengths and weaknesses? How do we see this thing? playing
Oh
out?
man, man, wow.
You know something?
With Messiah taking the field, and by Messiah, of course, I mean Bijan Robinson. Ski.
Nah, bro, don't look at me crazy. We gonna look at you crazy.
This is going to have to be. This is going to have to be a game where the running game for the Falcons is definitely going to have to hit the ground running. No pun intended. Because I believe this Green Bay Packers front 7 is underrated. We saw a little bit of it last week against Chicago, how uncomfortable they made Justin Fields feel. And granted, he went up against an offensive line in Chicago. That's, nothing to write home about. I get it. But I think this game is definitely going to come down to the Falcons' run game and whether or not that defense can create turnovers. They created 3 turnovers this past week against Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers.
Defensive player of the week, Jesse Bates, shout him out.
Boom.
Hey, you already know.
Ski.
Free agent of the year.
So
We not making this
we'll
game,
see
though.
what happens. You got a young quarterback coming to town in Jordan Love. Didn't have a great game against Chicago. I think he played okay, but there was so much that was going on with their defense and how they played defensively that kind of sort of overshadowed his performance. But
He did his job.
the run game for the Falcons and whether or not they can create turnovers on defense is going to be the factors to the game, in my opinion.
I mean, the concern I have is, can we throw the ball down the field? I mean, can we get those connections?
The answer is no.
And well,
As of right now, the answer is no.
As of right now,
go ahead. I'm not saying it can't get better. The answer is no.
So I will
Drake
say,
London had 0 catches.
No. Last.
Kyle Pitts had 2 catches. No.
Didn't your team struggle against the Cardinals?
Hey,
I would admit to my struggles. I have no issue with admitting to my struggles.
Okay.
I was answering the question. Look. The answer is no. Go ahead.
Let's talk about teams that are on the show, at least.
Okay. So.
No, you don't get that.
Relax.
Don't be disrespectful.
Relax.
Who better, Jordan Love or Desmond Ritter?
Come on now.
All right, go ahead.
Not doing this. But, yes, Desmond Ritter does need to do better because I felt like in the last game, even though we didn't really need it because we still won the game by 2 touchdowns, still, if we plan on being the team that we want to be and win the division, Desmond Ritter has to be better at throwing the ball downfield and getting these matchups ready. I mean, like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, these are guys that are mismatches for certain defenses, and I feel like we should have exploited the Carolina defense more than we did, especially knowing that we had the lead for damn near the whole game. So it's like, why not try and work on that against a team that we know is inferior?
I will say this. In order for that to happen, though, the pass protection has to look better as well for Atlanta.
That's even worse because against the Packers, if it...
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
You know,
let's call it what it is.
And the thing is, it's like, okay, you know, can we use play action more to get him on the outside to where, you know, maybe he has more time? Like, it's a bunch of different things that we could have done that I would like to see, and hopefully we can get that prepared before this matchup against the Packers, because if we don't, we will lose that game. So.
Okay.
It could come down to if Christian Watson plays, too. Just the big playability could swing it either way.
He getting locked up.
Moving to the next.
AJ like that? All right.
Bills Raiders.
I'm
gonna let.
Let's see.
I'm just to let you guys know. I'm not giving everybody's takes on every game.
I understand.
So we can speed through some of this. So.
Jimmy G is always one who just bothers me.
For a split second, forgot he was with the Raiders.
It's all good.
I was like, Jimmy G, what?
I've never been a Jimmy G fan, but somehow he wins games. It really bothers me because he just he don't do nothing special for me. But he do what he needs to do. I love to see more production from Josh Jacobs. Feed him the ball a little bit more. Devontae Adams had an okay game. Like I feel like their weapons haven't. He's got to bring them out. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's finding the rhythm. But I would love to see that from that offense. I think that there's more to tap into. But this should be a nice little tune-up game for y'all.
Bills, Josh Allen, 7-0 after throwing 3 turnovers or more.
All right.
So trying to make it 8-0.
Who your research department?
Sports Center.
Oh, all right.
Noon.
Reading them full screens. Go ahead. You're doing a great job.
So, I mean, that's a nice little healthy stat. I think that James Cook is going to possibly break 100 yards total.
Okay.
Run and pass.
100.
Yeah, 100 total. 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that Allen will bounce back. He'll have himself a nice game. I'm interested in seeing Tre'Davious White go up against Devontae. That's a nice matchup to find to look at if people want to check it out. I'm sure that Hyde or Poyer will shadow a little bit on that, especially if he's up against Benford.
Hopefully Poyer don't get burnt this
how
game.
That goes. Poyer didn't get burnt last game.
Oh, man, he got shit.
He got stiff arm.
Brees hit him with that 1-2.
He got stiff arm?
No. He just Brees, that 83-yard run. He was the last line of defense to try, and he couldn't.
Would love to see this Bills defensive line establish themselves in this game. I think there's a possibility for that.
See how this Bills O line is against Max Crosby.
Yeah, we will. Speaking I was gonna say speaking of O lines, but
Chandler Jones also.
Real quick,
stuff together.
Transition over to the AFC North. Do the Bengals go on too?
Who they play?
Ravens.
I think it's I think it's a setup game for the Bengals to bounce back. I think we already knew the Ravens had the injuries on the defensive backs with their corners coming into the season. I think this is the best game for the Bengals to get back on track with Jamar Chase and all them.
Ravens also have a number of injuries as well. Marlon Humphrey is hurt. Ronnie Stanley got hurt in week 1. Dobbins is out for the year. Marcus Williams got hurt with a pec injury in week 1. Number of injuries piling up early for the Ravens going into a very important matchup.
This is the normal for them. I feel like at this point they should just be used to figuring out how to function with injury.
And they typically do. They make it work.
It's crazy.
I beg the Ravens to not. Please don't lean on Lamar in the run game. Like.
You got them all the
But
wide
that's what-
receivers.
that's all they can do to win.
You went in. You bought these receivers. You went out and got Todd Monken. I can easily see this being a situation where they're saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's give them 10 to 12 runs a game." And I'm like, that's not going to work. That's going to kill.
Hopefully
them.
Mark Andrews is back this week,
more
too.
around 4 to 6.
It should be. He had
That's where it should
he had
be.
6 last game, but he was the leading rusher of that game. And it concerns me a little bit. I just hope that they don't backtrack to that.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Bengals pass rush look like, too. The Texans was getting after Lamar last week.
Yes.
The whole game.
Yeah.
Like he was under duress. And the Bengals, they have Trey Hendrickson. They have people who can get after the quarterback. So that would need to be something that they need to figure out if they're going to win this game, too.
I think that Lamar is going to test the safeties for the Bengals. I think that Zay Flowers is going to go off. I'm a little shocked at how little OBJ did in this first game. Hoping to see him actually exert himself and actually show that he is worth all the drama that we've heard about the sweepstakes for OBJ. Like, you better show it.
I understand. There's no Jesse Bates back there. He's too busy winning Defensive Player of the Week over in the NFC.
So, moving on to the continuing, let's go to the NFC.
Any of your players get any?
Let's go.
No,
They didn't.
They didn't get
They
any
ain't earned
weekly
that.
accolades.
So-
That sucks.
I mean, Josh Dobbs had, 85 yards in the second half? Or maybe the total offense. 85 yards in the half?
So,
Go ahead.
Seahawks Lions. I don't really know what to say about the Seahawks side of things. I said that I thought Geno was a one-hit wonder for that last season. I didn't think he would be able to repeat. He definitely did not repeat in this past game against the Rams. Lions, I thought that they only won because Kelsey wasn't there. Honestly, I think they would not have won if Kelsey played for the Chiefs.
I agree.
So I wasn't too impressed. I know we didn't get into it, but I didn't like the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs didn't get the touches that I thought he should get. I thought he should have gotten more touches. I don't know when people thought that. Wow, his name just escaped my brain. Come on.
Oh, David Montgomery?
Thank you. Montgomery has never been a lead running back for any team, like saying he's our future guy. Don't know why we thought
He kind of was
this
with
should.
Bears.
He
But
was.
it wasn't
He
good.
definitely
That's why he.
It was about 3.5 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know why we are trying to do that here and expect him to be like Swift or be like Jamal Williams, who averaged more. Like, that's what they regularly did. This is what he regularly does.
But at the same time,
So if they go into this game with that same game plan, I would not be surprised if the Seahawks win.
that part, yeah. But the fact that they were able to save his touches, clearly he's the better running back. They were able to use what they had of him and win that game. So credit to them for gambling, I guess, with the amount of touches they gave him. You know how running backs needs and how you got to.
Yeah, I
think
honestly,
that's the game plan they're trying to have him on.
Yeah, I honestly think like David Montgomery would get the most touches in between the tackles, and then
They don't run between the tackles.
Why would you not with an offensive line like that?
Yeah,
Hey,
they do.
bro, I'm trying to get my
Jameer
man
Gibbs
the
is
ball
on
in
the
space.
now.
No, but I'm saying
I'm trying to get the hands of my best player.
I think
a little
Montgomery
trusting.
they're gonna want him to do more of the dirty work, and
Right.
then Gibbs to be more.
That's
of the
exactly what
finesse
they
guy.
want. That's exactly what
I
they
don't
want.
see-
When we were talking about it, I brought up Chris Johnson. I said Chris Johnson was your feature speed guy, and then you had your change of pace guy who
I think it was
came
Lindell.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Or you can go.
It didn't start off that way though. It started off with Lindell being a premium.
Yeah,
back.
but then you realize what you have, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
bro,
but
you
it
never
wasn't.
realize-
Yeah, but it wasn't at the game one that you gave the ball. They didn't just give the ball to Chris Johnson at the game one.
Yeah,
he
but
had
I'm
to-
saying you have that type of back. Why are you not?
Well, and you got to
using-
think more teams do have different backs.
Sorry.
and-
I didn't mean to go into a tangent about the Chiefs Lions game. If you
Chris Johnson.
No.
Bring it into
But
this game.
but I think that it'll still be used the same, and I think that the thing that hurts the Seahawks is because they had their two tackles that were injured against the Rams. I think it's going to hurt them against the Lions because the Lions have a good pass rush, and I think the Lions will win the game because of that.
I was going to say Chris Johnson had 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns his first year, 2,000 second year, 14 touchdowns. So when you say he was still probably he led the team in rushing. I don't think Lindale ever had over 1,200 yards in a season. So Chris Johnson came onto the scene cooking.
Okay. Fine. Let's just give him the ball, and then let's give him the ball for.
I'm not saying that needs to be
30,
the game plan.
30 times a game.
I think if you could.
Why are you always so extreme?
Because
we have to
be
the one who gets the
we have
most
to justify it. We have to justify
No,
it, right?
because I don't want the person.
But this is,
bruh.
but this is, but their
in the 2000s,
offense.
that's why we always complain
But
about
their
running backs'
offense,
knees
their
because people
offense,
like you.
But no,
put them in the game.
No,
30
no,
touches.
people like that.
No,
People like that.
All I said
This
was
is
he should be the guy who gets the most. The person who gets the most touches should not be David Montgomery. The
I
person
agree.
who gets the most touches
Jameer should get like 17,
should
20.
be Jameer.
17, 20.
Get him somewhere between, if you get him somewhere between 15 to 20 touches, we good. But you giving him 7 touches, 6 touches in the
enough.
game, that's not.
Not enough.
What are we doing? He should get 15 to 20 opportunities with the ball.
Even if it's targets that he
Not
don't catch.
David Montgomery getting 15 touches.
I mean, yeah, it should definitely be in the slot, in the backfield. Like, he should get... I think David Montgomery should get more rushes, but I think
He
Gibbs
absolutely should get more rushes.
touches.
This is their offense.
Because
you're wanting them to.
I want Jameer Gibbs to be less in between the tackles as I can. I'd rather him be on the outside.
Jameer Gibbs is the same style as James Cook.
You're wanting them to
They're
change.
the same style.
You wanting them to change
Yeah,
their
but
offensive
Jameer
philosophy.
Gibbs is more versatile that you can use.
It's not a philosophy. You
Yes, he
can
is.
bring out more of your
Yes, he is.
philosophy.
Both
Be
quarter-
better.
they're
No,
both-
no,
no,
Jameer.
no.
But
Hold on,
no.
we're having 2 different arguments.
We are. That's
I
crazy.
don't want to,
No,
But
you're
wait,
right.
you're wanting them to
Good job.
change their philosophy because last year they went with Jamal Williams, who was the heavier back, instead of giving more touches to Swift.
Yes.
And Swift played in 15 games. So the fact that he was hurt, yeah, he was dinged up, but he was still able to play in 15
But
games.
Jamal Williams is not. David Montgomery is not Jamal Williams.
Who do you think Jamal Williams is?
just touched on the scene.
Exactly. Who do you think Jamal Williams actually is?
Could average 4 or 5 yards a carry.
You based
David
that off of
Montgomery
1 year?
Never
He didn't
has
do that.
averaged-
You know, he didn't do that. He didn't do much of that up until last year, right? Like Jamal Williams was strictly a goal
So
line back
you're
for a
saying that the
while.
Lions can change what David Montgomery has always been? That's what
No,
you're
I
saying.
would no. What I'm saying is that the Lions have a run philosophy where they don't mind having a heavier back carry it 20, 25 times. They don't mind that. That's their run game. It's built off that.
But if you're getting 3 yards per run, you're
it's
losing.
it's still successful.
No.
If you
3
go for all 4
yards
downs.
is a loss. If you're only getting 3 yards,
They're not.
per game,
Who's running the ball 3 straight times for 3 yards? Like they're not doing that. It's successful. You want to know why it's successful? Because they're one of the better play action teams in the league. So whatever they're doing with their run philosophy is obviously working.
I'm not afraid of David Montgomery.
You don't have to be.
I don't think anybody.
You don't have to be. Nobody was afraid of Jamal Williams.
I think he's a back that just wears down your
Right.
defense.
No one was afraid of
And then
Jamal
they
Williams
just
last
have
year.
the explosiveness of Gibbs that they can use.
David Montgomery averaged 0.1 yards less per carry than Jamal Williams. 4.1 for 3.9, 3.8 last 2 years, respectively.
So essentially the same guy.
It's work. It
Except
works.
Jamal Williams
We'll
had
see.
the-
Again, I think you're wasting talent. But
No, I agree with you that I think Gibbs should have more touches, but I think David Montgomery should have more rushes.
I think
in between the
you're
tackles.
trying to turn them into a faster team, and they don't necessarily need to be. Their team is built off physicality and power. This offensive line is built on just getting all in your grill. They're not built to go east and west with the run game continuously for 4 quarters.
But
They're
at
just
the
going to
same
wear
time-
you down.
So I agree with you that if you can make this work, make it work. It worked for you last year. You were able to win games like
Did
this.
it?
Save them some touches.
I mean, they did
They
go
did.
on a winning streak to end the season.
Yeah, but it didn't work well enough to get into the playoffs. I'm trying to improve.
That's
and
fair.
I got this
But
guy.
they
Let's
did
about
do
one
it.
game.
To Cordell's point, we've seen runs during that game where David Montgomery had it, and he was tackled or he wasn't able to get through the burst where it's like Jahmyr Gibbs, he
got
would have got through
No,
that.
no,
But
but they found their niche because they literally went from 1-5.
I agree with you. If you
into the
make it
season
work,
9-8,
save his touches. You don't
So
need to waste.
I'm saying, if they found what works,
Burn him up.
It's the
You
same
need to do
thing
that.
last year when I was sitting here with Devin Singletary and James Cook. And I sat here and I was like, man, if that was James Cook in there, that would have been maybe a 15-yard run instead of this 5-7-yard run. Like, I see that the same thing with Montgomery. I'm like, oh man, if that was Jahmyr Gibbs in there, instead of that being a 3-5 yard run, bro, he would have probably got to the second, third level on that run. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're holding yourself back from that.
But again, you're still questioning a team's philosophy, especially when it comes to playing Kansas City.
It's not the philosophy; it's the production within the philosophy.
But maybe their approach was, you know what, we need to eat this clock instead of throwing Jahmyr Gibbs out there and turning ourselves into a track team. Let's eat this clock with David Montgomery. We know it's only getting 3 yards to carry, but you know what? Hold on, those 3 yards to carry. It didn't come in play on that deciding touchdown drive because Montgomery was getting yards on that drive when they wore that Chiefs defense down.
His longest run was 8 yards and it was for the touchdown.
Hey, they got the job done. They did not get the job done.
If Kelsey played, they're losing by 2 touchdowns.
They did not get the job done.
Sure.
Okay, then.
But I'm now looking forward.
I don't think either of us are questioning the philosophy. If you're saying that they want to slow it down, fine. But
That's
Gibbs is more
who
productive.
they are.
Gibbs is more productive. They should give him the ball more.
We got a 2 rookie showdown between Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud.
We really talking about this game?
We've been talking about rookies. I just want to talk about these rookie quarterbacks.
I mean,
That's the rookie quarterback.
it is a pivotal game because one of them is going to get their first win against the other. So
rookies. I just want to talk.
it builds confidence.
Just touch on the rookie.
It builds confidence, and I think honestly, this game, I could see either or winning because both teams are kind of comparable and where they at as a franchise and where they're at as a team. I think the Colts played better than the Texans last week, but the Texans didn't play terrible. It's just they couldn't get in the end zone. They just got field goals. So,
all right, Chiefs, Jags.
Man,
hey, Chris Jones back. So
is he back?
Chiefs are.
Yeah.
He's back. Yes,
he's back.
Chiefs are.
Bro, he just what's he been doing this whole time?
Chiefs.
Is he in shape?
He can get off his couch and eat.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
be straight.
No, he's not. No, I don't mind you cutting me off or whatever. It's just the point that you made. Like, we just expect him to just come off the couch.
That's what I said. Yeah.
No. I'm talking about you. Like, you really think this guy is just? It hasn't been training, not in shape, not ready to go. You think
football? I've always been, from everything that I've heard, the best way to get in football shape is play football, and he ain't been playing.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
What about Nick Bosa?
What?
I mean, Nick
Albert
Bosa
Hainsworth
No,
his
Bosa was
ass
at camp.
messed up.
No,
Our whole
Bosa was at
flow.
camp.
Bosa
was at camp.
He was practicing with the team.
Yeah, Nick Bosa was practicing with the team. Am I wrong?
I don't think Nick
No,
Bosa
he
was
wasn't.
practicing with the team.
Nick Bosa wasn't practicing?
No, it was reported that he actually showed up to the facility a couple times. He
But
was
that's
not
it.
practicing.
He
with
wasn't
them.
But he didn't
He
practice.
was training on his own.
So
He got a sack.
he was
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
He had a
he
sack
saw
over the
the
weekend.
49ers,
Yeah, sack? I'm just saying I would level expectations.
All I would say with this,
but
Chiefs are definitely staring at 0-2. Not saying they're going to lose, but I'm saying it's a real. This Jaguars team is a talented team, and it's on the road in Jacksonville. This is not a manageable win or a win that you think you can
Jags are at home?
Yes, the Jags are at home.
Okay.
It's not a win. It's not a game like with Buffalo back at home against a Raiders team that's This is a Chiefs team going on the road against Jacksonville.
the only thing that worries me is Josh Allen. I don't fear the Jags.
Did he have 2 or 3 sacks?
3.
Oh,
Josh Allen had 3, and unless they let Juwan Taylor do what he did, then the only thing that I fear is
handling that business.
The only thing that I fear is that I keep on hearing about all the talent of the Jags, but I didn't see it at least in week 1 that deeply.
I didn't
in their
either.
struggle. So I am continuing to have my foot on the brakes
Didn't they beat them last year?
when it comes to them.
Was that last year or the year before last?
It was the year before last. Okay.
Oh, that was rookie. Oh, that was. I remember y'all ain't
I
scoring
don't
nothing.
even know. I don't even know.
It was like 12 to 9.
No. He wasn't even there. It was the year before that.
No, because remember it was Josh Allen versus Josh Allen?
Yes.
Oh, you're talking about
2 years ago. 2 seasons ago.
Damn.
Trevor Lawrence wasn't even there.
Who y'all lose to? Blake Bortles? Who y'all?
I don't know. It was an ugly game, bro.
I don't think it was Blake.
very
I think it was
bad.
after Blake. I don't remember who it was.
But anyways, I just don't see the. I am not seeing. I'm seeing the talent on paper, but I'm not seeing it show on the field yet. So I'm going to keep my foot on the brakes. I personally think that the Chiefs are going to.
You don't see any talent from the Jags?
No. I'm saying the hype that you guys are talking about. Like I'm not.
I don't
this
see the
talented
I don't
train
see
that y'all are.
Especially the way they played
as
against the Colts. I'm not.
What hype? Like they're going to win the
Because as soon
AFC
as Calvin
South?
Ridley got there, it was
Nah,
like, oh man,
it's
Calvin
like-
Ridley with.
I could
Not
see
really about
this
winning
being
the
a trap
AFC
game for the
South,
Chiefs.
because I think that's a foregone conclusion. It was more just the fact that they would be contenders in the AFC that some people thought they could be.
And I'm pumping the brakes on all that.
Lost to him in the playoffs last year. They get him at home. They do get a focused.
They're 0-2
Chiefs team.
against the Chiefs.
You hopefully is
Trevor
Travis
Lawrence
Kelsey
has been
playing?
Both
Which
were in Kansas
I don't
City.
even know.
What's wrong?
I don't even know if the Chiefs have lost 2 straight with Mahomes and Andy Reid together. I don't think they've ever lost 2 straight.
What if they do?
What if they do? Color me surprised.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Would you?
Color me surprised.
Like as good as they played against the
Be
Lions
surprised.
without Jones and
I feel like this is a
Kelsey,
trap
I'm
game.
like
It feels
This
like
is
a trap game.
for who?
a trap
The
game
Chiefs.
For the Chiefs.
I don't really
It
think
feels
a
like
trap
it
game.
does.
They're focused.
Yeah, I feel like trap games come
Are you
after
sure?
a win. I don't
They
feel like
typically
trap
do.
games
Why would they
come
not
after
be?
a
They
loss.
just lost.
You're right.
Because-
I
because-
feel like
prepare.
Because maybe their outlook on the Jags is the same as Cordell's, where it's like,
They've had 10 days to prepare, and they just lost. Nah, it ain't
what's your point?
I'm thinking more about the energy in defending your honor and what that could do for you. Like when you in between them lines, you know what I'm saying? You have a different mentality. You want it more. That could be the difference because they do have talent.
Right.
It could come down to who wants it more. Now, are the Chiefs better? Sure.
But the Chiefs wanted more
and the
because they
Chiefs-
just lost.
And the
But how
Chiefs
do-
going to be mad. And
But
if
how
they
do
get
we-
Chris
but how
Jones
do we
back,
know- how do we
might
know-
get Kelsey back.
How do we know this is
They're
not
not
an
gonna be no
occasion
slouch.
where the Jaguars are talented? They just played down to their competition in week 1. How do we know that's not the
I
case?
mean, even if they,
It's a possibility.
I feel like
That's
we're
a
looking at
possibility.
that game against the Colts and we're saying, well, you know what? That's probably who
But
they are.
I feel
who
like
they're
we're
gonna be.
looking at the Chiefs game on Thursday night and saying, okay,
That's who
well,
they are.
yeah, you're right. Like I feel like we're doing the exact same thing. And I'm like, no, I think that the 6 drops won't happen. I think that Kelsey will be there.
Well,
I think that it's going to be
Like to them, for
different.
the Chiefs to lose to the Lions by 1 point without 2 of their top 3 players.
And Kadarius Toney dropping every pass.
Yeah, like
excuse me
the
for
entire
not for looking at an opening season loss at home to a heavy underdog for the Chiefs and think like, God, that's something we've never seen before.
But that's what their
Right.
top 2 players not playing.
That was-
Something that we don't see often.
Anybody
Aside from
who-
Mahomes.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
You already know that I said the Lions were going to win that game. I didn't believe nothing.
Yeah,
that was being
I
said.
said
Pick'ems?
Yeah,
Okay,
I said
yeah.
that
If
Lions
Kelsey
would
didn't
win
play.
if
So
Kelsey,
no, because
if
you're talking about
Kelsey-
heavy favorites, and I'm like, to me, no, they weren't heavy favorites.
until those 2 players are out.
Once those 2 players were out, I didn't think they were heavy favorites at all. I thought it was a
Like
flip.
that's like saying, "Oh, Joe Burrow don't got Jamar Chase and Higgins." You think they're gonna win a game against the Bills? No.
They didn't play a Bills
You
team.
went too high.
Okay,
I agree
Dolphins.
with you.
Okay, the Dolphins.
All right, hold on.
Yeah,
Speaking
you
they
of-
don't
can
have
say the
them.
Jaguars.
They're not-
Speaking
like,
of the
come on.
Dolphins, let's talk about that. And speaking of trap games, I think this is a trap game right here.
Oh,
I
Lord.
think this is my other
Who they
upset
play?
alert.
The
Patriots.
Patriots.
Now this is what I would classify as a trap game upset alert. Come off a big win.
Definitely more of a trap game than my pick.
Exactly.
It is more.
This is
it's-
to
it's-
me what a
it's-
trap game
it's,
looks.
It's more of
and
a
feels.
trap
Yes.
game because it's in New England.
He wants it to be a trap game so bad.
No, it is a trap
Nah,
game.
it's a trap game.
It's
I
a
give
trap
it- I
game.
give
It's
it.
not. It is a trap game.
So
It's a trap.
You're coming off a big win.
If
of
Tua goes out,
big performance.
Tua goes out, throws for 350, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, but they lose. What's your takeaway?
How did they lose? I need
That's-
to know
that's
because
the
honestly,
takeaway.
I mean, honestly,
that shouldn't be a
The
loss.
only way they lose is if
The
Mac
defense
Jones
gave
just-
up points,
Yeah,
right?
the-
Like
the
they did
defense.
against the Chargers.
Then we're gonna have to have we have to have a Miami Dolphins conversation.
About what?
If you're in a shootout with Mac Jones in this offense, and then you're gonna tell me that they can
You
compete
just
with
can't
the top,
give Tua any credit, man. God
It doesn't
damn.
do with credit. It's more of the big picture conversation.
Right, I'm like, we have a Miami Dolphins issue because you guys said Vic Fangio was going to come in here and be an upgrade for this defense. And if Mac Jones is lighting you up,
Yeah, there's no way.
you are not
no way.
competing with the top of the AFC.
It's not going to work.
It's not because their defenses are not going to get lit up the same way that, like, I know that you think that Tua can just light up any defense. That's not going to happen.
No, I didn't. I said that Tua's capable of being an MVP caliber quarterback because of how he played last year and how he looks this year. You're looking at this as if this is a potential trap game.
Yes.
But I'm taking that and reversing it and saying, well, what if Tua plays well in this potential
lose, though,
trap
you
game? Right.
And they lose.
So,
Right.
but I will say, he said it was more of a Dolphins thing, not a Tua.
That's what I'm saying.
I did. Thank you.
So
I said that. I
so
said
it's
it
like
was
Tua can
Dolphins.
still be good, but you have to have a conversation about
He
the
ain't, but
Dolphins as a team.
when is he going to say Tua's good? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to punch it to
I
the
did.
microphone.
I said it.
You said it?
I said that.
I need to hear it again.
I said Tua is a good quarterback, but good doesn't mean you can compete with the top
Ski you.
6.
Ah,
The
it
good
gives you
does
a
not
chance.
mean you can compete with the top
It
6.
gives you a chance.
I don't think a good quarterback can compete with the top 6. I think the top 6.
You disgust
You
me.
gotta think, Jalen Hurts, nobody thought he can compete until he did it in the playoffs. And obviously Tua, like you said, he hasn't been in the playoffs yet, so we don't know.
Right. So
So-
I have the right to reserve that judgment. I'm not just going to throw him up there.
Show
me.
You said you feel this is a potential trap game for the Dolphins as well.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And
Bill
why do you feel
Belichick
that
be
way?
scheming. I was trying to think in my
Yeah.
head. I don't know what
Yeah.
SportsCenter's research would say
know.
about what Tyreek's numbers are when he versus Bill, but I feel like there was some games, especially when he was back in Kansas City, where he was more limited playing Bill's defense. So I think Bill Belichick gonna have him
Here's
moves ready.
my thing.
The Dolphins struggle in New England as well. They've had a
Dolphins
recent
struggle in
history
New
of
England. New England struggles in Miami. And so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this game and I'm like, how do you stop Tyreek Hill?
That's it.
The answer is you don't stop Tyreek Hill. You trick Tua. You make Tua think he's open when he's not.
That's
That's
true.
how you stop Tyreek Hill. Is by tricking Tua into thinking and baiting him into certain passes that he shouldn't want to
Unless he
shouldn't
passed the
make.
defense.
But there's-
He passed the defense.
Well, yes, obviously, but I don't think that
But there's-
Bill's going to let a lot of
but there's
those
Jalen.
things happen. I think he'll take that away.
There's also Jalen.
What?
We forget about Jalen.
No,
Jalen's also.
it's the same concept. You make
And
him
Jalen
think
out-
these people are open when they're not.
I mean,
That's how you
that
beat-
is the
that's
biggest.
how
If you
beat
wanted to
them.
say there's a flaw with Tua, is that you can trick him into thinking someone's open for him to throw in.
You can bait him into making mistakes.
That is a thing.
That's how you
I
beat
think
that.
that's been a thing for him ever since he was at Alabama. Is the fact that it's like if you scheme well enough to disguise coverage, he'll throw in interceptions. It doesn't happen often, but there are certain teams that can do it well enough to where he gets.
And I think Bill Belichick is one of those teams that can do it. That's
Yeah,
why
I
said
mean,
this is a
in
trap
New
game.
England, he doesn't play
I wouldn't,
as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if Miami won, but Tua only had like 250.
According to
I mean, that's about what he had last year.
Jalen's supposed to be out at least until December.
I'm sorry.
Jalen
Ramsey.
Waddle.
Oh,
Ramsey.
You said Jalen
Waddle.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle.
Waddle. I was thinking about Rams. I was like, Rams, what are you talking about? My bad. It's specified.
All right.
It did when he said Josh Allen. I was like, oh, all right. It took me a second.
Yeah,
Same thing.
Different Josh.
Yes. Cool. So I know we wanted to get into more of the games, but clearly, as
Ran
you
out of
can
time?
see, we are
Oh,
way heavy on time.
Super heavy.
So I wanted
Come
to
on,
at least
Holtzman.
hit on these games.
Boo.
But
Yes,
it is
later.
what it is. We will be live on Monday.
Monday.
So-
Right before Monday Night Football.
Right before,
You better not.
Not only Monday
You
Night
bet-
Football, but
put it down.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
But right before
ski.
right before the doubleheader.
Yep.
So we will get into the Saints, Panthers, and Browns, Steelers on Monday. Those will be the two games that we lock in on. But that will do it for this episode of Outspoken from Cordell.
Marcus.
Ski.
E2, horns down. I don't care.
All right, that will do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.